Hey guys, welcome back to another episode with Rana Realty Talks. We're here in Calgary at CIR Realty, and we have the team with us to talk about the local regional market. Please talk about yourself.
Hey, hi, my name is Gurpreet and I'm with CIR from last 4 years. And I'm basically concentrating on the residential properties. Calgary and area is it's like the areas I mainly focus on.
Hi there, this is SANJAY, and I joined this in 2016, and ever since then I'm with CIR Realty. I mostly focus on residential as well, but yes, I do commercial on the side, and so far I've been enjoying it. The company has been great. The market has been dynamic, I would say, because it keeps on changing. That is it.
Hi guys, my name is NITIN AGGARWAL. I'm a realtor with CIR Realty. I'm in a business since last 4 years approx, and it's a pretty dynamic changing market. Calgary is way different. If you're comparing from Toronto, it's a way different market. Houses are very much affordable, and if we talk about certain more aspects and numbers, at the price what you get an apartment in Toronto, you might be able to afford as detached single-family homes in Calgary. So I can talk in depth about numbers on one-on-one. If you're going to reach out to me at nitin@therealestatealberta.com, that would be great. Or you can reach me at 587-700-9118.
Well, guys, once again, I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and kind of talk about the local market here. As we all know that, in Toronto area, the markets are crazy, right? Properties are inflated. The appreciation of properties is surpassing the ability for people to save money. And a lot of the younger generation, even the new immigrants coming in, it's going to take them years, probably even over a decade, to be able to save 20% in the current situation they're living in and be able to afford a property. So we're on this journey across Canada to showcase the local markets, showcase markets across Canada, to show people that, hey, look, you can still have that quality of life, that Canadian quality of life, and still not have to worry about spending 50%, 70% of your household income on mortgage. So let's talk about the Calgary market here. With your market experience so far with you guys, where do you guys see the current stance of the Calgary market in real estate, and where do you think it's headed towards?
I would say that the market has improved a lot in the past 1 year. Like everybody was expecting that COVID is going to bring everything down.
Yeah.
But for initial time of the COVID, like February, March, April, it was like really worrisome. But then afterwards, like it went up like anything, and we had some record months in that particular year where people were not even believing to have good amount of transactions. As you said that you try to compare the market of Toronto with Calgary, I think this thing will make a person think while staying in Toronto that, hey, why am I here? Why I can't go there? And as you said, the Canadian standard of living, the person is going to think that, hey, I can have all these things over there as well, and then I don't have to struggle much. So I think the idea is really good, and this will really help people to move out of the place, and it will be good for the people who are staying there, because I think it will just bring the market a little down and easier for people to afford,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, the biggest problem, right? It's a principle of scarcity, right? As more people come into the country, unfortunately, and no matter where you go in the world, you say you're from Toronto, you're from Canada.
Yeah.
Immediately they'll assume you're either from Toronto or you're from Vancouver.
Yeah.
People just know these two markets, and they just assume that's what Canada is. And when they come to migrate here, they just think we're either going to go to Vancouver or Toronto. And then when they get there, they realize, oh my God, this is too expensive. What's going on? The quality of life decreases quite rapidly because they can't afford it anymore.
Yeah.
And then now they got to raise families in these places, and now bills are racking up even higher.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, as humans, our basic necessities are what? Being able to drink water, clean water, good food, shelter over our heads, and good air. Now, when a house itself is taking majority, in some cases even more than a majority of your household income, you're really stuck in a financial rut.
Yeah.
And a lot of these folks, they won't be able to get out of it for years to come because of the system they're living in.
Well, that's what I think that, okay, somehow if you're able to afford it, what about the mortgage? You still have to pay that.
Yeah.
And then while paying that, you have to compromise somewhere or the other.
Yeah.
And where else, so you have checked all the boxes, I can cut down here. How many times?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so difficult.
Let's talk about why to move to Calgary or Alberta, I can tell you, is quality of life. That is the most important thing. Why we moved to Canada? We moved to Canada to get a better lifestyle, better working standards. So if we talk about lifestyle over here in Calgary, there is a lot of places to explore around.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't need to name, I don't need to express what are the options available in Alberta to go around. Okay, and in terms of affordability of the house, in Toronto or on an average, I was just reading an article today itself, wherein almost anybody who is an average age of 40 at this moment as well could not able to afford a home
Yeah.
in Toronto market.
Yeah.
Okay, but easy if you are here in Calgary, because average home in Calgary still cost you, a detached home, a single family detached home will cost you on an average is $580,000. And if you are looking for an apartment style, you can get as low as maybe less than 200,000 or an average price of 200 and very close to $285,000. So if you talk about the numbers, your mortgage payments, I can tell you with my own personal experience in the last 6 months, I might have received at least 15 to 20 inquiries from Vancouver or Toronto market, wherein people wants to buy just for investments, okay, because they cannot able to afford in Toronto, but yes, they want to be a homeowner somewhere and start building their equity. So they are shifting to, and they're planning to invest in Alberta. Okay, and yes, we agree that Alberta doesn't have that sort of a turnaround in terms of appreciation in the property values, but this year was a dramatic change. We have seen almost like 9% change year to date so far in terms of the price appreciation in the Calgary market. So, which is tremendous. At the moment, like we were also feeling the same way during in the last few months, wherein whatever the property my clients are stepping in, it's already sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is
Multiple offers and all those things,
Yeah.
exactly the way it happens over there.
Yeah.
We were having like, the moment it's upon market, we rush,
Yeah.
show. After 1 hour, we call, hey, you got to wait till the evening because there are 5 more realtors who maybe
Yeah.
are putting an offer,
Putting an offer in.
stuff like that. And in like the website that we have, like we see that people from out of the province, like if we receive like 100 profile visitors, out of them I think 60 to 70 are from outside, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yes.
Wow, that's
it's
phenomenal.
like, and the
Yeah.
people who are here are also basically trying to see that how much the price have risen up.
Yeah.
Like
I would like to add about the immigration process if we like to add.
Yeah,
it's
please.
like
Yeah.
more than 1.2 million people are going to be expected in the next 3 years.
Wow.
I'm talking about till 2023.
Yeah.
That's what the federal government has announced that
Wow.
they're going to. So they all need documentation.
Yeah.
For sure, they cannot afford $1.5 million worth of house.
Yeah.
They need to come into a smaller towns.
Yeah.
Calgary is expanding. It's expanding in a big way.
Yeah.
There are a lot of IT firms which are joining the hands with Calgary administration over here,
warehouses.
as well as some warehouses, which is good.
Yeah.
It's a leading sector wherein it's very well connected for trucking business as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, like in the past, we have seen from where they are in the trucking business, they have started making their base over here in Calgary.
When you have properties within GTA area and people are living in GTA, specifically Toronto, because that's the financial hub.
Yeah.
A lot of these people are working within Toronto, but they're living in the outskirts in the GTA area, like
Yeah.
Mississauga, Brampton, Caledon, all these areas. These areas are not far. These areas are like looking from a kilometer range, they're about 20, 25 kilometers away. Yet, if it's rush hour time, yes, if it's like you're going, let's say at 7 in the morning, you got to be at the office by 8 o'clock. You're going to spend about an hour and a half on
Yeah.
that highway for 20 kilometers.
Wow.
Like, that is insane. That's
Yeah.
like that quality of life, that thing you're chasing after, it just becomes depressing at a point.
Yeah,
Because
it
at
does.
what price?
Yeah.
At what price
Yeah.
are you making that income? Right?
You know what
Yeah.
bothers us over here? Like
Yeah.
when you go in the morning, you take the deerfoot and you gotta wait. It's like it's like snail's movement.
Yeah.
The way it is.
Yeah.
Just at the rush hours, that thing bothers us.
That thing bothers
We'll go there. Probably
You would be really bothered by it.
There are communities in
Yeah,
Calgary wherein
it's,
you guys can hit mountains
Yeah.
maybe less than an hour.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it's
Banff
less than
and
an
like
hour. You can hit
Canmore,
the
like
mountains.
Guys,
These are world famous mountains, Rocky
Exactly,
Mountains,
like,
Banff.
so cool.
Yeah.
It's literally known to be heaven on earth. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the Rockies, the Banff, Jasper, all these places are known to be heaven on earth.
Oh, yeah.
And here we are living in a city with such a huge range of of property valuation that no matter what walk of life you come from, no matter what your financial background is, you're going to be able to afford a property here and still be able to enjoy the other things that Canada has to offer.
Exactly,
Being
yeah.
in the outdoors, being in the nature,
Yeah.
having an RV, having an ATV or jet ski,
Anyway,
going out
yeah.
with your family, going on vacation.
Exactly.
These are the things that we came across from across the world
Yeah.
to come and enjoy here. Yet we
Exactly.
choose to go to these cities in Toronto and Vancouver, and we're stuck in this sheep herd line of just trying to get money after money after money, and we're sacrificing all the things that we actually came here to get.
Just to add on, like in Alberta, with my own experience, I can tell you I have not one, maybe multiple clients who are working on a minimum wages, which is a minimum guaranteed wages by Alberta government, and they are the proud home owners. in Calgary.
$15.
Wow.
Yeah, they are the proud.
$15, yeah.
They are proud homeowners here in Calgary.
Yeah.
It's
And-
awesome.
Yeah, they're working,
Yeah.
they're enjoying their
Yeah.
life, they're going out on Sundays to Banff
Yeah.
or like to anywhere they want to go, yeah?
Let me give you guys another example from my own eyes. You know, again, I'm very young. I'm 25 years old, and so I have a lot of friends. You know, I have friends from all walks of life. You know, some have gone to university, some have gone to colleges, some haven't even finished high school yet. These people are working, you know, some crazy jobs, 150,000 to 80,000. Some guys are even working minimum wage jobs.
Yeah.
Now, doesn't matter which friend I meet, most of them, about 80-90% of them have the same thing. Man, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to afford a property. These guys are making $100,000 or less, or some guys even making minimum wage. If the guy making $100,000 can't afford a property, then the guy, my friend making minimum wage, he's definitely not going to be able to afford a property.
Yeah.
And here you are talking about people working minimum wage $15 jobs and being proud homeowners. That legacy that you want to leave behind for a family, you can achieve that
Yeah.
at such bare minimum salaries.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, very true. Sometimes I wonder, like, people, if we put the same guy who's here doing the job, getting the minimum wage, whatever, if we put him in Toronto, and I'm sure there must be people who must be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
How do they, like,
Survive.
survive or support their living
Even
lives?
the car insurance skills
Oh my God.
in Toronto. I got a friend and he got a friend from India. So when he came here, he wanted to buy a small car. He bought a car for very old car, I think 1990 Toyota Corolla. He bought it for $500 and he was paying $500 monthly as insurance for as third party only, not even the first party, right?
It's
It's
insane.
crazy,
It's
insane.
insane.
Yeah.
You know, our telecommunications, right? Our internet, our cable, they're essentially monopolies, or duopolies, I should say. Bell and Rogers are the ones that really run that market. People are paying like $100, $150 just for their one phone plan bill. One phone plan bill. And then they're paying about $300 to $500 in just car insurance. And they're paying around $300 to $700 just for their car payment. And then they're paying $2,000 to $3,000 just for their house.
Wow.
Where are you enjoying
Where's
life?
the money?
Where's your
Where's
life
the money?
going? You're earning to give somebody else your entire time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%, yeah.
The unfortunate thing is that even though I've spent so much time in this country, we've learned about these other provinces, we've learned about the other cities, but it's been very, very basic things. You've never seen what the actual life is like. You've never seen a day in Calgary. You've never seen a day in Regina. You've never seen a day in Edmonton or any
Exactly,
places.
yeah.
So you never can really understand what's really going on. People try to do the research online, but again, in today's day and age, there's so much information available.
Yeah.
There's so much good and bad information available that people don't even bother to read anything online. They'll type a Google search in, they'll read the first 3 or 4 headlines, and then they think they've made up their mind.
Yeah.
They don't really understand the reality. So for us to be on this journey, for Rana Realty to come out on this journey, we really wanted to showcase for you guys, what's really happening across the country right now, right after a pandemic. Because right now, I don't know how the Calgary market went, but during the pandemic in Ontario, there was lockdown after lockdown, restriction after restriction, and people started realizing, hey, look, like I'm living in a $1 million condo. I'm paying crazy amounts to live here, and now I got to be stuck inside of my own house for a year and a half. People decided, you know what, like if I'm going to be locked in a house, I'm going to choose to be locked into a detached property with some acreage or some sort of greenery around me, which is why we saw a huge abundance of condo apartments come on sale. And then everyone's trying to shift straight to detached, semi-detached townhouses. How did that happen here with COVID? Did you see a lot of condos come on the market and people move towards the detached and semi-detached properties, or didn't really have that big of an impact?
Not really. We don't see too much happening in the condo market. Okay.
Yeah.
What we have noticed more is in the suburbs of Calgary. Like if I'll talk about Adrie, I talk about Chestermere, I talk about Cochrane, I talk about Okotoks, Kenmore.
Yeah.
It's all like super hot, like
Okay.
super duper hot. These are
Yeah.
the markets which surpass, I think so, even 2006 or even year 2000. They have like record sales,
Yeah.
which happen in most of these markets are.
Yeah.
So there are tremendous changes which happen. People who are living in the Calgary, yes, they were looking for a better lifestyle. Like they were moving out of Calgary, especially from a downtown a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from downtown, no, there was not too much of movement we have seen.
Yeah.
In terms of from moving from condominium to detached properties. Yes.
To be honest, like condominium market, when I say condominium, particularly condominium apartments, like apartments have been suffering for the longest time ever, I would say.
Yeah.
The occupancy rate is very low. Most of the condos, like the kind of inventory that we have of the apartments out here, it will take some time to, it get like,
It's the
for it to
population,
get
right? The more people that come in,
Yeah.
then only you're gonna start seeing an influx of people taking those condos over detached or semi-detached properties. It's
Yeah.
funny, earlier you were mentioning about the prices for condos. You can get something as 200,000 or even low. Right where we're staying, right on the hill area, overlooking the entire city. There was a condo that I came across, 1 bedroom, 1 washroom. It was listed at 189,000, and it was. Overlooking. Literally, you're on a mountain view,
Yeah.
overlooking the entire city for $189,000. And here's the best part for investors: it was already leased until July of 2022
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
for $1,700. Now, a place with for 189. Let's say you even got it for $200,000. 20% down, you're looking at $40,000 in.
Yeah.
With the property tax being at, I think it was like $1,370 for the year.
Yeah.
Your mortgage comes out and end up being around $600.
Yeah.
Like $600 is what your mortgage is coming out to be with property taxes, and then you're getting $1,700 from your actual rental income locked in for at least a year.
Yeah.
Like that's unheard of. In Toronto, that market used to exist 15 years ago.
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago. You
No,
know?
I agree.
that exists. Like I saw it for myself today.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a small
it's
question?
so true, yeah.
Of course.
What do you think? If a new immigrant,
Yeah.
as a permanent resident, landed in Toronto,
Yeah.
how much time does it take to think about buying a home?
Oh man, in today's market, unless they come with deep pockets back home, I don't think they have any chance in the next 10 years to be able to save up enough money and buy a house for 20%. Of course,
I'm talking about 5% as well.
Yeah.
If he's bringing the money from back home, okay, the 5%, he
Yeah.
has a deep pockets,
Yeah.
he can afford up to 5%.
Yeah.
How much time he will still gonna take with a decent job? Like I'm talking about an average job. What is the average household income
Exactly,
in Toronto?
Because
It's still gonna take, I think so,
even
couple
if
of
he
years.
buys a house, like he still has a mortgage to pay.
Exactly.
And for
Yeah.
that, he'll be needing a good job or whatever,
So it varies,
So-
exactly. So it's gonna vary, of course, person to person, right? But if somebody, let's say, has a decent job, let's say they're earning about $70,000 to $80,000.
Perfect.
With a 5% down payment, you're looking at, if you're in Toronto looking for a detached property, good luck. If you go a little bit outside, you're in Mississauga, Brampton, Caledon, Milton, Malton, all those kind of areas, you're looking at roughly around 1.1 to 1.5 million is what you're going to be looking at. Even with 5% down, you're looking at probably at least year and a half before you can even think about being able to afford a property properly.
Exactly.
Of course, people do it, right? There's always outliers. There's always people that go ahead and do it. Like you said, they have the money, they go ahead and they buy the property and they don't even think about how I can afford the property in the mortgage
Exactly,
side,
they
right?
don't, yeah.
Because $1 million mortgage, it's going to cost you roughly around $3,000 plus.
Yeah.
If you're paying 5% down, it's going to cost you even more.
Yeah.
So being able to not only afford your insurance, your car payments, your family, your vacation,
Utilities,
and
whatever.
then now you got to spend $3,000 plus
Yeah.
just on the mortgage. Not even talking about the depreciation of the house, not depreciation, but like the upkeep of the house, maintenance of the house, anything that breaks down you got to fix, anything you want to upgrade on the house. Like all those things are they're a huge burden for these people.
And what do you think
Exactly.
about Calgary?
I'm blown away.
Okay,
I am
I
actually
help
blown
my
away.
clients.
Yeah.
They were landed in Calgary approximately within span of 3 to 5 months,
Yeah.
wherein they were the proud homeowners. They were just landed a brand new immigrants, got a decent job, and bang on.
Yeah.
So actually, I want to talk about first-time home buyers because in Ontario there's a lot more restrictions because you have to be at least a PR for a year to get a decent credit score, to have a decent history where the banks can actually come up. Because nowadays, properties are so inflated. CHMC doesn't insure a property above $1 million, so banks are even more stringent. As you guys know, maybe you guys don't know, but in Ontario they recently increased the stress tests.
Yes.
Right?
It's all over
It's all over Canada. So stress tests are increasing, and yet people are still buying these crazy properties. Yet there is no way of them to be able to really afford these properties 5 years from now because it's only going to get higher, and then interest rate right now might even increase for the next few years. But again, time will tell.
Exactly.
Over here in Calgary, being able to land here in 3.5 months and get your own property, man, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it is.
If it can offer that, if it can offer you to land in a place like this, be an hour and a half away from mountains, water, be within your community in the local areas, enjoy the downtown life if that's what you want, have festivals, have events, and on top of that, be able to actually spend time with your family.
Yeah, 100%.
As immigrants, we came from those busy countries to come here to settle down, to spend time with our families, to flourish and grow our families, to have a proper future for them. Yet these folks, they're working 12, 13 hours a day, the husband and wife, the kids are doing their own thing, husband and wife are doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Where's your quality of life?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't get
That's
that.
what, you came here for something good, but are you having that good?
You got stuck in a race that you never wanted to take part in.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because that's the place you landed, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And information isn't readily available, and that's why these people don't have the chance to make an educated decision, right? Because for a lot of these people, leaving their back home country, and no matter what job you had back home, whether it's super expensive or not, you still sacrifice everything to come here.
Exactly.
You came into a new unknown, right? You really didn't know anything about the world you're going to. You just came in and you jumped into the opportunity and you made the most of
That
it.
is, I think, one of the reasons. You have relocated from one country to another, and now again you're thinking of relocating. Would stop some people,
Exactly.
But I'm sure on this that if they will think, hey, here I'm able to afford say this room for this price,
Yeah.
If I go to a neighboring province or somewhere, double the size, maybe triple,
Yeah.
So that will, I think, encourage them to, go further and look for more opportunities.
Exactly, and that's the problem, because the information wasn't available,
Yeah.
right? So they already
Exactly.
went through the unknown one time, and
Yeah.
now to go through the unknown again, and this time having zero information or little information, they're like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna stay right here,
Exactly.
and we'll just keep running this
Yeah,
race.
yeah.
We'll just keep doing this because it's the only thing we know.
Yeah.
So for us and the team behind Rana Realty, we really want to take the time to showcase for you guys and sit down with people from these local regional areas to showcase what's really going on in these markets, to really give you the correct information, the current information, so you guys can make informed decisions for yourself and your families.
One thing I wanted to talk about, like you talk about the first time home buyers, right? So majority of, if I talk about the Indian subcontinent or the people who are coming from India, most of them are coming on a student visa.
Yeah.
And most of them are going towards the Toronto area for study, right? So I'm as of now, I'm showing a house to one of the guy who just moved from Toronto to Calgary. He's not a student, he got his PR and everything, but he told me that students over there in Toronto, in one place, in one home, I think 10 different students are renting at same place or same
Wow.
like house,
Yep,
right?
yep,
Yeah.
yep,
So
yep.
eventually they're gonna get PR.
Yep.
And then when they get the PR, right?
The first
So I
thing
think, the first thing they should look at, am I be able to sustain in this region for long?
Yeah.
Without sacrificing all the things like lifestyle, spending time with the family and
Yeah.
everything, right? Or otherwise they'll be open to move to a place where they can good job opportunities. Mind you, Alberta is still the richest province in total Canada. I'm telling you. I think in 2005 or 2006, the premier of this Alberta, they gave money back because they got lots of money. They gave
Exactly, yeah,
back
that's
money,
what we
$500,
had just
$600.
done,
I'm not.
yeah.
I
Wow.
forgot the name. To the people, everybody who's living in Alberta, they got the money back from the government.
Oil was really up.
They all was
Wow.
really up, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
especially oil is now again hitting 80.
Yeah.
So that means Alberta is opening doors for everybody. They can come here. They can, people like me just
Yeah.
started their family or
Yeah.
the student. Eventually they will start their family. They're gonna call their parents from India.
Yeah.
They'll stay here. I think Alberta or this Calgary and area
Lot
especially,
of,
is offering a great opportunity,
Yeah,
a golden
and-
opportunity. Yeah.
And talking about opportunity, right? Even driving around in Calgary so far, one thing I really loved, and I've noticed this in actually pretty much every city I've gone to, except for in GTA area itself, is how proactive the planning is for the infrastructure development in these cities. They've taken the time to really understand that, hey, we got to space things out ahead of time. People are going to be coming. And I think the problem in GTA is that since people only know about these areas from across the world, they only end up going there. And so the municipalities and the governments, they were actually bombarded with people.
Yeah.
And so they were forced. It's not they didn't want to. It's they were forced to, instead of being proactive, now they're playing the catch-up game. Now they're spending everything, all the money, all the resources to catch up. Because there's such a huge influx of people coming in that they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But over here, because there is a gradual increase in population, there is not a huge abundance of influx of people coming in randomly, for the last 10 years, there's been a really proactive approach to planning within the actual infrastructure development. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
100%. If you might have heard about the Green Line project, which has recently been approved.
David.
In fact, it's got funded as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Last
that-
2-3 days, I think. Yeah.
Now let's jump back into the first-time home buyers, right?
Yeah.
In Ontario, the first-time home buyers, they have an incentive, and that is they get a land transfer tax rebate. Now over here, in some places we went, they actually don't even have land transfer tax. So
It's
what
true.
are some of the
We don't have. We lucky.
So
Thank you.
I was in Edmonton. I was talking to Kevin, and I was talking about the land transfer tax, and he goes, "I want to stop you right there." I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Well, the incentive is that we don't even have it. Forget the rebate; we don't even have it."
Yeah.
So, what is there? Except other than the fact that you guys don't have any land transfer tax, are there any other incentives that the government offers or the builders offer to first-time home buyers
Yeah.
to get a
The
property?
first time home buyer GST rebate is the biggest
Even
we
if it's
have.
below
So there's a
certain
GST
If it is,
rebate.
the first time home buyer, if you're buying your first home in Alberta, anywhere in Alberta, and the price, I think, should
450
be below 450, then you get a rebate because you're paying a GST as well, right?
Yeah.
So whatever is the house plus GST, you're paying the
Yeah.
total price,
Yeah.
then you get the discount in GST.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So they're actively really trying to promote people buying houses.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
There is also
And
the many
of course,
schemes.
there is one more program which is there,
Yeah.
as a lot of people must be aware about,
Yeah.
with the RRSP.
Yes,
If-
RSP.
Yes, people
Yeah.
can withdraw for the down payments, they can withdraw from the RRSP account, wherein it's a tax-free money which you have put it in,
Yep.
and you have like 25 years to pay back.
Well, so moving on to some of the from realtor to realtor, right? Perspective of realtors. Now, there's a lot of realtors in GTA area. Let's be very frank. I mean, the Toronto Real Estate Board, the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, just that board on its own is anywhere, I think, north of 60,000 members,
Wow.
which is a lot, to be very frank. And that's not including the entire Ontario,
Yeah.
right? Like there's a lot of
But then,
realtors in the area.
Sorry to cut you right there.
Yeah.
But are they active? Like all of them?
That was the next thing I was going to say.
Okay.
So since there's a lot of active realtors, not all. So since there's a lot of realtors, there's not a lot of active realtors.
Exactly.
There's only probably I would say around 5,000 to 6,000, maybe 10%, 20% that are actively working, that are actively earning a lot of money. So new realtors that are getting into the industry, they don't really understand those numbers because they're just getting into the industry.
Yeah.
They just look at the entire, that thing you get, like there's, we're one of the biggest boards in Ontario, blah, blah. So a lot of new realtors actually get discouraged. They think, how am I going to compete? How am I going to establish myself? How am I going to do that? In Calgary, if a new realtor wanted to migrate from Toronto, Vancouver, or the Vancouver area and come out here and establish himself here, what kind of hurdles and step backs would he see here?
If you talk to me, competition is always a good competition.
Yeah.
It's all about individual capabilities.
Yeah.
It's how you handle your clients, how passionate you are for your own work,
Yeah.
how well you know your market, and you should have a courage to say no as well. That's most important to being as a realtor. If you feel something is not right, it's not right.
Yeah.
So
I think
that is something which is very important. No matter where and which market you are in, you are in Toronto, you are in Calgary. Calgary is a small place, but we still have more than 6,000 realtors. Correct me if I'm wrong on the numbers,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like pretty close,
Yeah,
6,000
approximately.
realtors.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many would be active, but yes, there are very few names which we heard in the industry
Yeah.
who are like a full-time realtors,
Yeah.
taking their in and out, like every day they're working and thinking 24/7 about real estate.
Wow.
The one thing I wanted to add that when somebody wanted to move from Ontario to Calgary, right? So I think the first thing you need to see, either they know somebody personally, they can always talk to them. Second thing, if they don't know somebody, it's a brand new place. Like when we come from India, it's a brand new place, we don't know nobody, right? So I think they should spend a little time on the internet, try to look at the different brokerages, what some of the brokerages, they offer very good training program. Some of the brokerages, they don't. Right? So
This brokerage does.
like why we choose this brokerage, I think when we
Yeah,
knew,
we had the
we
same
don't know
reason,
nothing,
yeah.
right? So they trained us. It was like classroom training.
An
and
actual
teaching us
classroom.
everything. Actual classroom.
Where
training. Yeah.
like the broker is gonna teach you how to
everything.
do the like
They walk you through everything.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That was
so
the-
I can reach out to my manager, office manager
Yeah.
anytime, and then plus we have on the website, we have an option. We can just,
Quick
just quick connect, right? We
Yeah.
can post out on our question,
Yeah.
if you're running into a situation,
Yeah.
right? And then somebody
then-
from the management team, they'll come back to you within
even a
half an hour.
management or a lawyer or a
Yeah,
mortgage,
somebody will,
whatever your question is.
yeah, somebody will come to, so that's the kind of support you need when you start your career, right? So
Exactly.
that's
And-
another thing, yeah.
Everything takes its own due course of time, like it's like, for example, if you have to build this like building, you're gonna do it like this, it's gonna take some time.
Exactly.
So that plus the kind of personality you have, like if you're an introvert, probably do something else, or
Yeah.
like if you're not comfortable talking to people
Yeah.
or meeting with strangers or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and it also depends, right? Like, and if you want to change that, definitely you can do that.
Yeah.
And but it's up to you, like
Exactly.
how much you work hard.
Exactly.
towards it.
The reason why I asked this question is because I've actually met a lot of realtors, especially during the COVID times and after COVID times, that have gone into the industry. And I've gotten into the industry a little bit before COVID, so I have a bit more years of experience than they do. And they always ask me the same question because they're like, man, we're seeing such a huge influx of realtors coming into the industry, and because of COVID, because real estate is really about in person, but like getting to go and meet people, talk to people, sit
Yeah.
down, and have that face to face,
Yeah.
and really share what you have to offer, right?
Yeah.
With COVID, these new realtors, man, they were bombarded. They can't go outside. They can't meet people.
Oh.
They can't go and talk to random people. And even if the restrictions from the government allow it for you to go and talk to people don't want to accept it. People look at you wearing a mask, walking to random people, and they're like, you know what, we don't want to deal with it. So new realtors, especially within that area, have had a huge problem with getting clientele actively. And creating a network for themselves so they can get themselves established. So it's going to push back, their years of getting established in that market for at least a year or two because of the whole COVID scenario.
I
If
think-
I'll add on that, it's a web market right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's
It's
what I
not
was, yeah.
about you're meeting in person or not. If any realtor, the Calgary market is hot right now. Since last year, June, I can say. It's almost a year now.
Yeah.
And the people who have really worked hard during the peak COVID time, during the first lockdown,
Yeah.
got the biggest rewards
Yeah.
in the last 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'll talk about the new realtors, if they would have done all their due diligences, if they have learned all those aspects in those 2 months or 3
Yeah.
months of lockdown or whatever the time they got it,
Yeah.
they would get an instant rewards rather than just think. It's all about mindset. Real estate is all about mindset. What do you think? How's your approach is? So you might have to shift your business module depending upon the situations.
Yeah.
Like today, yes, I have to go and meet in person. I can do that today,
Yeah.
but not 6 months ago.
Exactly.
So for that, I need to meet them on a Zoom calls
Yeah.
or maybe video calls. Or I've sold multiple homes in last 1 year wherein it's on a video calls.
Yeah.
Like I do previews for the homes. Like okay, we'll do a virtual tour for you guys,
Yeah.
and it will be a live virtual tour.
Yeah.
It's not only us. A lot of builders who has collaborated with us has done, even the inspections online.
Yeah.
Like we have done a pre-possession walkthroughs online itself. It's all live. No more in-person stuff is going around.
Yeah.
So
Actually, it's
I think
funny. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's funny you mentioned that because when I was looking to get into real estate about a few years back, I noticed a huge trend. The trend that I noticed was it is the biggest contributing factor to the Canadian GDP.
Yeah.
In 2020 alone, real estate rental and development was around $264 billion in the GDP's number one spot. Number second spot was manufacturing at $80 billion less. And so I saw at that point that it was one of the highest grossing industries for the entire country.
Yeah.
Yet, about years ago, it was actually some of the least technological advanced. From the initial prospecting, getting leads to viewing property, showing property, doing the paperwork, all of it now because of COVID has actually been exponentially transformed into the digital era.
Yeah.
And so I saw this digital transformation happening years back, which is why I wanted to get into the industry right away because being a young adults, we've kind of grown up with technology our whole lives, and so not only is it one of the most lucrative industries in the entire country, now it's transforming into a digital technological world,
Exactly.
and so now with COVID, it only amplified that even more. So it really is about mindset, like as you mentioned, because no matter what industry you're in, it's always going to change. It's always going to shift.
Oh, yeah.
If you shift with it, you're going to be prosperous.
Yeah. It's just that
If you don't
how
shift with
make
it,
use of
well,
it,
you're
you
gonna
know?
be faded out, and that's it. It's not just with real estate. It's any industry you're in. That's how it works.
Exactly.
And the conversation with you guys has been phenomenal. I mean, it's opened my eyes from a perspective of even investing in Calgary or even thinking of moving to Calgary. I've learned great insight, and I'm sure you guys have as well. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, any comments, anything you'd like to recommend, anything you want to know, always put it down below in the description, as well as all of their information, all of their social media handles, contact information, the brokerage and everything will be in the description as well. You feel free to reach out to them at any point. I want to kind of end it off right here and kind of ask you guys for your final thoughts about what the segment is like, what we're trying to offer to people, and what you would say finally to people that are viewing this from a perspective of the real estate market here in Calgary.
Well,
If you're looking for a lifestyle, Alberta is the place.
Alberta.
Calgary is the place. That's all I can say.
Simply put.
Yes.
Lifestyle with the little money you can save. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like in a cheap way you
Yeah.
can have the better lifestyle here.
Yeah.
Plus, I think the Alberta has lots to offer, and I think the market is gonna go up. Even if you compare Calgary or Alberta market as compared to Toronto or Vancouver, right, we are still way below.
Exactly.
So I think that again is open an opportunity for people somebody who's willing to. We came from I don't know how many kilometers from India to here. Now if you're moving from one province to another, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 kilometers. It's not a big deal, I think.
Yeah, and what I say is again, like what to add on to your point, the market here in Calgary, this is what Toronto used to be like 15 years ago. That market essentially, looking from a market perspective. Now that market took 15 years to get to this point, but these markets are not going to take 15 years.
No.
They're going to be exponentially growing.
Yeah.
So right now, this is the time to act. Because
exactly, like if you can't make it there, you could make it here, right?
Yeah.
Like so it's better to think out of the box and then try to come and see what.
Just to add what you said, right?
Yeah.
So everybody, like me, all three, when the COVID hit the market, we thought because market was already very slow, and we thought the market gonna go zero.
Yeah.
Then
And we were like, yo man, we need to find another job to survive in this. Yeah, right. And then I don't know what happened, and market
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
Eventually, we had lots of inventories, like lots of people. You go to builder, they got I got 6 homes to sell, 7 homes to sell. Now you go there, they got nothing.
Yeah.
No lots, no nothing.
Yeah.
So they
All
sold
sold
out
out.
everything,
Sold out.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it's like that, when the boom time comes, you don't even know that
Yeah.
within one month or 2 months,
Yeah.
everything just like on the roof.
I would like to add for our investors especially
Yeah.
that we as a CIR Realty, we not only offer that you just buy the place and then you're on your own.
Yeah.
If you're looking
Yeah.
for an investment point of view, we do have a complete property management division
Yeah.
wherein we'll take care of all your tenants' requirements, finding a tenant to taking care of your property throughout the years, till the time when you want to keep the property with yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for that sort of a services for investing in Calgary market, we are still open for that.
Yeah, so guys,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a house with all the services that you could possibly need for real estate. Whether it's from buying your own properties, whether it's for investing, whether it's for renting yourself, it's a brokerage that offers it all.
Yes.
So once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning into another episode. This has been brought to you by Rana Realty and the team behind Rana Realty. Thank you so much for all the likes, all the shares, all the comments. Again, any questions, any concerns, put them down below, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.